Hey guys, so I am back. I have match 6. I do not have match 5. I'll go over it and I will show you what happened. We were in the middle of a thunderstorm, a crazy thunderstorm turned into a tornado. Everything's fine, but we lost power and we just got it back. So I have not made a match 5 video, but I will show you my results from it. And then we'll look at match 6 because this one was interesting. And yeah, so it should be good. We learned some things in between match 5 and match 6. We learned a lot of things. And I'm definitely pumped to go over that. And then we'll see how it lands. All right, guys, so before we hop into this round, I'm going to show you last round, and as you can see, spoiler alert, I lost. So like I said, I didn't have power for quite a while, and I just couldn't make a video. But I wanted to show you what kind of ended up happening here. I did lose on this mall team. My standard counter did not work. I tried to clean it up, ended up preloading it, and it just went sideways from there, and I ended up tilting. So as you can see, neither of us cleared, but he obviously got more points than me, so he got the win, which kudos to him. But my opponent this time is Nong from Chewbacca. So he is 8.3 million GP. He has all 6 Galactic Legends, but he doesn't have Star Killer. Just under 1 million legacy points, so probably took Grand Arena a little bit more seriously than I did. And yeah, he typically sets the same defense, so I knew what to expect going in. I did not change my ships at all, so kept the standard ones there. Up top, I did have Iden up there still. I did end up setting this Boba team with Zam just because I don't know what to do with her anymore. And then I moved Gas here as well. And then in the front bottom zone, I left Maul and Qui-Gon. I left First Order TIE Pilot still because I still don't, have him modded, obviously. He did obviously attack and clear my Darth Revan. That was the only thing he had done before I started my attacks. And then in the back, we've got Grievous because he's just not good really on offense for me. And the only Galactic Legend I set was Rey. I was pretty nervous about not having enough Galactic Legends because his speeds are insane. So he's got Bam, Han, and Chewie, which I cannot outspeed with my Han. This Nute team, this Dooku team, his Shaak is 365 speed. So I was super worried, which is why I chose to keep a lot of my GLs. And then obviously Fin Poe. Just absolutely wild speeds that I was really worried about having to outspeed. So Darth Revan, I can't Wampa this because of HK, Rey, CLS, and then a Palpatine with Basty and Malak, and then Grievous. So pretty standard to see in the front, and I have an idea of what to expect in the back. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away on this Rey team, because obviously I like to go for the GLs first, and clearly, I have found a comfort zone here with using C on Rey, and I don't think I'm going to stop until it goes sideways for me, just because it's working really nicely in 3v3s, and Rey is really scary, and I haven't faced a comp that prevents this from working. So that being said, I'm going to speed this up because realistically, you guys have seen me do this a few times by now. All right, so obviously really standard tank tech to C, and then linking the sides and just kind of going from there. I'm always really hesitant, I don't know why, to use his first special before I actually get my ultimate off. I'm just super nervous that I won't have it, I guess, once I do have his ultimate, and so I always just basic. I'm assuming that that's probably the wrong thing to do, but it hasn't let me down, so I don't know if I'm going to change this, to be honest with you. Anyway, so ults here, which is great because we can fry them, and I really love that we got it before her ultimate, so I didn't have to wait and, be scared. Was a tiny bit scary here just because I knew she was going to have that whirlwind and I didn't want her to knock me out, but I mean, you can see it went pretty smoothly, so I'm not too upset. Okay, so the next team that I was going to go up against was this Darth Revan team. Like I said, I can't Wampa it because HK does provide tenacity down, so I didn't want to do that. I can, however, outspeed his Darth Revan with my troopers. So I figured this was the safest call. Again, just because I obviously can't mirror it because mine was on defense and I can't Wampa it. I didn't want to burn a GL here, so I figured this was going to be the best option. And I felt really, I don't want to say confident, but pretty secure in this decision just because there was no Malak, there was no Basty. Like, realistically, once you get around the sides, you've got just Darth Revan left, and it was, like you can see, pretty straightforward. Not the cleanest, because it got 54, but I'm going to take it anyway. Okay, so we just have these 3 teams left in the front, feeling really good now. And this Grievous team, I figured I could Wampa. I had an idea of what to expect in the back, and I didn't think I would be able to use Wampa on anything there. So this was, I felt, the best call. And other than using Wampa here, I didn't really know what I could do unless I wanted to dip into my Jedi, which I really didn't want to do already. So Wampa won. And it was pretty straightforward. I mean, I will say, even with Grievous taking his bonus turns, it doesn't ever feel super dicey, particularly against Grievous. Just with Wampa having that bonus protection, it doesn't ever really feel like it's gonna go really sideways, even when, Grievous there is whirlwinding away, or whatever you want to call it, his bonus AoE. But yeah, it doesn't ever feel like it's going to be too crazy. So it's pretty straightforward. And then the one thing with this that I am mildly annoyed about, and it's really just the mechanics, because he does mark the other allies when you knock into his health pool. It is a little bit annoying because you can't really choose who you want to counter. You're obviously going to end up countering that marked ally, which is not necessarily what you want to be doing. But again, it's not that concerning when it goes, I would say, fairly smoothly like this one is. Cool, so 58. And then we just have the 2 teams left in the front, and we can see what's in the back and if I'm right on what to expect. So I do want to go against the CLS team, and I'm going to use the team that I always use. Jedi Knight, Luke, Hoda, and Old Ben. I've gotten pretty comfortable with this. I hesitate to say that this is a hard counter. I'm not saying that it is a hard counter because things can always go sideways. But it has been very smooth thus far. So I'm not upset about it or worried when I go in. Cool. So I just like to go, I think I've said this a couple of times already, but to reiterate, I really like to go for Chupio first because I feel like he's the one that's going to screw you over. And then COS can just die off afterwards, and it's fine. Pretty straightforward though, and honestly, super fast battle, like less than 40 seconds. So I'm not gonna complain. Okay, so now we just have this Palpatine team left. Palpatine, Basty, and Malak. And I honestly had no idea what to use here. That I didn't need to use in the back zone because I'm fairly confident his Lord Vader is back there. I didn't want to use my bounty hunters. I didn't want to dip too far into my Jedi. I didn't think Padme would do this at all. So I didn't want to risk it. And I figured because I didn't want to risk it, the best option honestly was going to be to use some of my Jedi. And I wanted to use Jedi Master Luke here. I didn't love this idea. Like, I actually hate that I'm having to dip into my Galactic Legends. But I feel like it was necessary, so it's what we're doing. And I did end up going with Bastilla and Ayla. I wanted Ayla for the stuns, and I wanted Bastilla for the ability block. And then this way, I could still have a Jedi Knight Revan team. I could still have a Padme team with Ahsoka and GK or Mace or whoever I ended up using with her. But I wasn't going to be eating into my Jedi too much by pulling the heavy hitters and screwing myself over on the other battles that I had kind of already sort of planned what I wanted to do. So that's why I'm taking these two. And I will say I was really hesitant to do this because a lot of the counters I was seeing with this team specifically, and Jedi Master Luke countering, were taking, Cam or Jedi Knight Revan or Jedi Knight Luke, like these heavy damage hitters. So I was a little bit worried, but my JML is Relic 9. So he does hit fairly hard. He's got a decent protection pool. And I was going to be trying to spam his leadership ability as often as I could, just to chew through this as quickly as possible. I did want to get Bastilla down right away, just so that she couldn't throw her fear on me. And then Palpatine just to get rid of the stuns. And then it was just Malak. And this was a little scary because Malak I find sometimes to be pretty hard to get through, but the other really great thing here too with taking Bastilla and Ayla is because neither of them are tanks. It's always going to be Jedi Master Luke tanking, or taunting I should say, sorry, which is really helpful. And I liked how that worked. I think that was, I did have to use a Galactic Legend, but taking Ayla and Bastilla was a great solution. So let's see what we've got in the back. JTR and the Droids, Bad Batch. His Echo is 364 speed, so another insanely fast tune. Padme, Dash, and then Lord Vader. No Maul with Lord Vader though, so this is huge. And it does mean that I will be able to use Bounty Hunters and feel pretty confident here. The rest, I kind of have an idea of what I want to use, along with what I want to use up top, and we will get into that now. Okay, so pretty standard. I'm going to do the exact same thing I always do, Galactic Legends first, and I'm going to go with my Bounty Hunters here. So because there is no Maul, I feel very good about taking Fennec Lead, Bosk, and Grief. I'm not too concerned. It is double tank, but again, no Maul, so this should be fine. I'll be able to get my contract really quickly with Grief there, and we should be good to go. So I don't know if this is the right thing in 3v3, but I do like to still go for Royal Guard first. It's a comfort thing. So I am going to taunt with Bosk right away, and then I want to cleanse because of that daze, which is super irritating. And then we're going to call the Mass Assist on Royal Guard, kick Royal Guard, and we already have our contract up, which is fantastic. And that means that, eventually we can start ignoring taunts and stuff. But until these sides are down, I'm not really going to focus on Lord Vader at all. But pretty straightforward. This daze is absolutely infuriating, which is why I'm cleansing. I try not to cleanse too much, but once the whole team is dazed, it kind of sucks because you can't really call the Mass Assists. And the Mass Assists, I find, are what, really help you get through those sides so quickly, like you just saw. Okay, so he's got his ultimate, which sucks, and now we're ability blocked. And I really need to cleanse, and we're ability blocked, and Bosk has lost his taunt. And now we're screwed. So this went sideways so quickly. Just so quickly went sideways. I don't know if I should have cleansed earlier. I don't know. I truly don't know. But I'm real mad that it went sideways. So let's look at the top, because my thought is let's get to ships. I don't know if I'm going to abandon all hope on the bottom zone yet, but I need to at least get to ships. I need to at least be able to practice, okay? Like, that is the thought. So, like I said, his Shaak is 365 speed. It's insane, which is why I'm going to do Wedge Han Chewie here, because my goal is to just shoot her first, get her out of the way, and then I can focus on the clones. My Han can't outspeed his Han anyway, so I don't need to use him for that BAM team up top. And this obviously seems to be okay. You do want to kill Shaak first in these scenarios, because every time you hit the clones, she's going to gain turn meter, which sometimes people forget. But that's why I chose to shoot her right off the bat, so that we could just get her out of the way and move on. And then we have this lovely BAM Han Chewie team up top that I want to take out. And I honestly didn't know what to do here. So I chose to just be super safe, double check again what was there, so I wasn't going to do something, stupid. But my gut was saying just be safe, get to ships, and just go with Kenobi. Like, this feels like it's probably going to be overkill, but I really just want to get to ships so I can, practice failing them. Thankfully, Han shot Kenobi. I was a little worried that they were going to shoot Cat first, but pretty straightforward. I wanted to get rid of BAM, and then I could go straight in on Chewie here. This was honestly quite a bit of overkill. I'm hesitant to say this, but I'm curious if I could have just gone in without General Kenobi and just undermanned it with Kenobi and Cat. But I don't want to get greedy. All right, so just these 3 teams left to get to ships, and then we can see where our fate lies. I'm thinking with this Finn team, they're not crazy fast. I mean, Finn's 230. His hero Finn is 325, so it's decent. And then Poe is loaded with potency in 293, so they're not crazy. I didn't know if this would work, and I figured they were probably going to outspeed me because my Jedi Knight Revan is a little bit slower, especially in 3v3. He's not gaining as much of that boost. But I was kind of thinking I could probably survive the onslaught, which I did. And so we're going to go straight for Hero Finn because I want to get him out of the way as soon as possible. I like having foresight here, even though Jolie has the buff immunity and he's not going to get it. I really just like having it in general for whoever can get it on the team. And then I figured I would go for Poe instead of regular Finn. And I don't know if that's the right call or not, to be honest with you, but I just wanted to get him out of the way. Obviously, Finn can stack his damage, but I really just want to get Poe gone. So pretty straightforward. Thankfully, the mark is really working in my favor. And like I said, I figured that they would be able to survive the initial onslaught, even with them being outsped, and just kind of control it after the fact from there, which is perfect. All right, so 55, pretty good, considering I wasn't too sure if that would, be my downfall or not here. And then just these weird teams. So again, I wasn't super sure what to do here, and I didn't want to overkill it because I really do want to go back to the back zone and try some more. But I also don't want to shoot myself in the foot and not be able to get to ships. So we have this Dooku team, and he is decently fast, and Jango is 292, so he's not super slow either. I don't have the fastest tunes, so because they are gonna outspeed me, I'm figuring I can just take Kylo. I actually completely forgot that I had him with me on offense. And I decided to go in solo. And I don't know if this was a good idea, but I figured I was going to risk it, which is hilarious because I really wanted to get to ships. But I wasn't too sure what my opponent was going to do with the rest of his attacks, and I figured if I could gain some banners back this way, then I would take it. Pretty straightforward so far. Obviously, the healing immunity sucks to have on him, but I mean, 58, I wasn't mad about it. And then we just have this Nute team with Nest, and Nest is, you know, the bane of many people's existences, and I don't want to get stuck behind her. So Nute is 295, so he's decent as well. I just had this feeling, I don't know why, I had this feeling that Padme would be able to do this. And this could be folly, but especially like Mace of all people. But you've got, I was figuring Courage would be able to help me out here. So obviously in 3v3, the danger is extortion with Nute. So I do pay it off pretty quickly. I just don't want it spreading on my team, which is the scary bit. And I do want to get rid of Magna Guard as quickly as possible, just because the taunt is actually going to block me from doing what I want to do. And I am going to eventually start alternating here between Nest and Nute. Especially because every time you hit her, she gains that lovely bonus protection and screws you over. So if I can chip away a little bit at her, it would be fantastic. And then, again, just alternating between Nute and Nest, especially since Nest is still able to take some turns here. And because Nute is still alive, to be honest with you, it's a really great opportunity to alternate. So, okay, so now Nute's dead. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit scary. Just because she does start ramping here and she just keeps gaining her protection back and healing. And this is why Nest is such a pain. So we're just going to keep hitting her and hope that she doesn't kill us in the process. Hopefully. So I am doing Padme's kick here, even though she has all of that bonus protection. I just want the stun on her so that she doesn't take that turn and do a ton of damage to me. So it's really more of a safeguard versus me actually thinking that I'll be able to do any damage. Getting that stun on her was honestly way more important. And then Ahsoka, bless her, can just go in and get the kill. So we've gotten through the top zone, which is fantastic, and I can go see what's in ships. And see what we're gonna do here. So he has set the exact same ships that I set, which is awful and also, I mean, fantastic, but also awful. So Negotiator, Thrawn, and Executor, which immediately tells me that we're probably not going to be clearing ships. But let's go back to the bottom because I do want to try to get through this. I don't know what to do on Lord Vader. This would be a great time to try a Wampa solo if I had him, just to see what would happen, but we don't. Okay, so we have this JTR team with the droids. They're not crazy fast. 296 BB-8 is... It's not fast. So I haven't done this in a very, very long time. But I figured I would try to use my Night Sisters. And I did take Jaka to Relic 3, so she's a little bit healthier. And I thought this might work. I toyed with the idea of taking Asajj instead of Zombie, just for the extra damage, but I figured, you know what? Let's try this. If you need Asajj later, I'd rather have her in my back pocket than use her here and not need her. So pretty straightforward. I do really like Talzin lead, to be honest, with the Night Sisters, just for that added security blanket of bringing them back. And I will say I was not feeling too great with the stun and the burn and, you know, all of this. Daka's not looking the best, which makes me happy that I did bring Zombie. So because she is so fairly low health here, I did choose to do her heal. Whether or not that was the best call is up for debate, but I was more focused on staying alive long enough to just take somebody out or have Plague take somebody out, which it did. And yeah, pretty good considering, I mean, just two Gear 12 sisters, so they're not modded that well either, to be honest with you. I think my Daka has 106,000 health, so like she's not modded that well either. All right, so 53, and this has me rethinking JTR on defense as well. So, okay, so now we have this ridiculously fast Bad Batch team, this Padme team that I also don't know what to do with, and then Dash, which is going to be interesting to say the least. So Dash is 315 speed, shocker. But the other two are not that fast. Vandor Chewie was 216, I think, and then 190 something for Zalbar. Like they're not crazy fast. So I figured I would try Nute. I don't really have another plan for him. I honestly don't know what else I would do with him, so I thought this could be a good thing. It would probably be fairly clean. So I do obviously want to get Vandor Chewie out of there right away, or as quickly as possible so that they stop reviving. Otherwise, we're just going to be here all friggin' day trying to kill this team. But thankfully, they do shoot through them pretty quickly, and that's probably just a gear level thing versus my relic levels. But once Vandor Chewie is gone, it's pretty straightforward. And then it's just Dash left. Obviously, the AoE kind of hurts, but again, I wasn't looking to pinch banners. I was just looking to clear the team. Okay, so now we have a ridiculously fast Echo and then this Padme squad that I also just, and I'm not too sure what to do here. So again, Echo is 364, like I thought, yes. So he's obviously going to do his little debuff thing right away. And I figured the best case here, I really wanted to try Thrawn, and I wasn't going to be able to outspeed them. So I figured I should just throw in a burner. And I thought it would just be great to throw in my own Bad Batch. And you can see how poor they are. I did second guess myself. I took Echo out only just in case I needed him for some ridiculous thing, which I don't think I would, but you never know. But I figured my plan here was to go in, have them use their AoE specials and then die, because that way when I go in with Thrawn, they will be on cooldown. So we're just doing these specials. So we've got both AoEs already, and then I figured I would, you know, just do something here to take a turn. I wasn't too sure if I should just time out. And then I kind of thought, you might as well just do a little bit of damage. Like, I'm doing basically nothing, but I might as well while I'm here. So I did pause it for a little bit because I thought maybe I would time out. And then I chose to take the turn anyway, which was great because Tech ended up throwing his grenade. So it actually worked out even better that I chose not to time out and just let them kill me. So now that they have all of those abilities on cooldown, I can actually go in with my Empire team. So Palpatine, Thrawn, and Vader, and my thought process here is I really want to fracture Echo just to control him, and then Vader can hopefully just kill them. So pretty straightforward. Again, I really like that I thought to use a burner team. Burner teams are still something that I'm wrapping my brain around. And I'm really happy that I had that thought to do it, because sometimes it's just worthwhile. Like, it sucks that you're losing banners because you're having to do a 2-shot, but in this scenario, I just wanted to see what I could do and get through as many teams as possible. So I'm leaving Echo alone for now, only because he is ability blocked and now he's stunned. So I feel fairly in control here of the situation. And Big Hit takes him out, and pretty good. So that worked out in my favor, which I'm quite happy about. And then we have Padme, and obviously they're relic because he's got Lord Vader. I figured here I was going to try my Sith Triumvirate, which are not relic. They are still Gear 12. And Padme most definitely outspeeds them. But I don't know what other choice I have here. So I figured if I could at least kill Anakin or Padme, it would be good. And it would be cleanupable. So this stun right off the bat on Traya kind of sucks. She is going to cleanse it anyway, but it is a little bit annoying either way. And I hate that GK is taunting because I really like to isolate Padme if I can. Generally, in 5v5, I like to take Thrawn here, and I can fracture GK so that I can isolate Padme, and then I can go straight for Anakin. However, that's not the case here. So I did choose to just annihilate Anakin anyway. I don't want him taking a bonus turn. I don't want him around. I just need him out of the picture. Traya dying obviously hurts us because I can't keep isolating anymore. And this is just going to be a little bit painful. It's a lot painful once Nihilus dies. So Scion, though, just, you know, is hanging on pretty spectacularly. I don't really know how, but like I said, I really wanted to get Anakin dead, get him dead. Really wanted to get him down. I would rather in this scenario have killed Anakin than Padme, and then still have to go in and clean this up. Obviously, like, going in without Padme next was great because there would be no leadership, but Anakin's still going to get his bonus turn when you go after GK, so I'd rather just get rid of him and have to deal with Padme's leadership after the fact. So you can see this is actually so ridiculous that I keep getting this Held by Hatred buff back. And it is eventually going to run out on me. It will eventually stop. There it is. All right. So just Padme and GK. I was getting a little hopeful that maybe I would get through GK, but clearly that was not the case. So we're going to clean this up. I have absolutely no idea, and I'm just at this point kind of spitballing and trying to figure out something that could possibly work. And I remembered that I still have Mando because I didn't use him with Fennec. And I don't have a tank, but we're going to take Aurra Singh leadership in anyway. I really just want to pop my contract as quickly as possible and then delete Padme or GK. Really, like, I don't really care, to be honest with you. I just want to delete somebody. So Boba is obviously doing his weird Boba things. I'm just trying to get this contract as soon as possible. It is going very slowly. Aura's dead. We still don't have our contract. And Mando has now died once. Boba's doing his whatever Boba things he does. This is okay. We've got our contract, and Mando is hanging on by a literal thread, and we can delete Padme. So it's done, and now we have to just try and chew through this GK. I hated that he had that retribution because I knew he's just gonna go straight for my Mando, and I'm not gonna be able to hang on, which sucks. So it's just Boba and GK. And Kenobi gets all of the foresight, all of the dodges, nonstop. This was actually infuriating, the amount of times that he dodged here. Like, just so many dodges. It's kind of silly. I mean, I know that foresight is doing some of these is because of foresight, but there are times where he does not have foresight and he's still dodging. Like, it's just ridiculous. And to the point that, like, I was actually a little concerned that maybe he was just going to keep dodging nonstop and kill me. But we got it done. So we got through everything, and now we just have this Lord Vader left, and I have no idea what to use here. Like, there's troopers would have been great to have, but I don't have them. I'm gonna try Geos. I truly have no idea if Geos is even viable here. I was running out of time. I didn't think that that I needed to check in on this because I honestly didn't think that this would work, so I just figured I would try it and see what happened. Especially because my Geos are pretty weak. So you can see that they're barely denting him. 979 damage, that's fantastic. It's pretty miserable. So he's blinded, which I don't think actually matters. I don't think he really cares. We're just going to keep trying, keep doing 900 damage with every hit and see what happens. I do wish I had Wampa to try on this just because I think it would have been fun. Even if it didn't work, I think it would have been fun to try since his stats get doubled when it's the solo leader, or the solo enemy. So obviously that didn't work. I wasn't going to beat my head over this, and I figured I would just leave Vader standing, and then I would go and beat my head on the ship wall. So Negotiator, Thrawn, and Executor, obviously not ideal. I would love to Malevolence Executor and Thrawn. I know that I can't. So my thought process here is to hope that the Malevolence counter works. He does have an R9 Piet, so it is going to be super dicey. I don't want to use a burner because I want to use a burner on GK. So I'm going to send Malevolence in straight away and see what I can do and hope that I can chew through it. And if I can't, then maybe Radis can clean it up. I need to save my burner for that GK team though, because I do just want to get through a couple of fleets, even if I leave Executor. And then I figured I would try Finalizer on Thrawn. I have done Finalizer on the Empire fleet before, but it was with a Tarkin lead. And it did work. It was not super clean, but I figured it would be a good option. So I didn't love that they were killing me so quickly, but it's fine. And then, you know, we get the bad pull here, and the taunt is on Razor Crest, which just absolutely sucks. I feel like I can never chew through Razor Crest when the taunt lands on it. It's just awful. I really just wanted to get through Cad Bane, and you can't. So we are going to get at least one of these stacks off Razor Crest, which is great. And then, you know, if we can get through the rest. But at this point, obviously the heal comes out. We lose the taunt, which absolutely sucks. And we're going to bring in Karth, get rid of this target lock on us. We're going to try and get ability block on Houndstooth. And of course, he's going to freaking dodge, because that is the name of the game here. And this is looking really bad. Looks super bad, guys. Absolutely am not enjoying this fight at all. I hate Executor with a passion. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we can't even get through, we can't get around Houndstooth to get through to one ship is just like the writing's on the wall there, and that's just an absolute catastrophe. So that's fantastic. All right. So like I said, I really wanted to try Finalizer on Thrawn. I figured that could be a decent plan. Maybe I would have to clean it up afterwards, but it might work. And then we're going to take Sun back for the stun. So with this fleet, I really like to put Hunted on the Imperial Bomber. So he's obviously got Darth Vader there. Bomber's on the left. It's just not letting me target him. And then the Sith Bomber as well. So I really like to start with Hunted there. And then I do go for the stun on Sith Marauder's ship. And I like to go straight in on Bomber. I want to get that Bomber down as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go for the big hit. Just try and chew through it as much as possible. I was pleasantly surprised to see Shuttle come out. And then obviously we're all on fire. So we do get the stun, which is helpful. I truly don't know what I was thinking here. This was a massive misplay. I should have called in Special Forces TIE Pilot, and for whatever reason I chose to basic. I don't know why. I can't even give you a reason why I chose to basic, because as soon as I clicked the button, I was like, oh, I should have called in for Special Forces TIE Pilot. So that was a complete waste of a fleet because I just fucked up, for lack of there's no other term for it. Okay. So last fleet to make a mess out of. We're gonna send a burner in because my Rebel fleet is not strong. So I need to send in Mace, and I need to just get Anakin. I need them to use up their specials. So I need Anakin to do his AoE. Kenobi's gonna do his AoE, which is great. I need Anakin to do his AoE. Thank you very much. And they've all done their specials, which is fantastic. This is like the perfect burn. Every single ship used its special, and now I can send in my Rebel fleet. It's not a sure thing, but I am feeling much more comfortable knowing that they've used their specials up. So we're gonna do the double tank, which is what I'm comfortable with because again, my Rebel fleet sucks. And then I take the Phoenix ship, whichever one that is, Cassian and Wedge. And I honestly don't think I need anything else. I don't want to take anything else. If this doesn't do it, then I don't know what to tell you guys other than that I suck at ships. All right, so thankfully they've got all their AoEs used up. I am going to do the wiggle to start only because I don't want them targeting Falcon, and then we're going to go straight in on Anakin. I need to get Anakin out of here as soon as possible. So basic, he is target locked though, so now we can start calling in our specials. And he is so low health here, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous. This AoE is going to do it. He's gone. Like, that was just, like, chef's kiss perfect. So good. Okay, so no one is taunting, and I figured I would want to get rid of Ahsoka next. So that is what we're going to do. I like to bring in the Phoenix ship first, and then that way I can call in another reinforcement right away. Just to kind of chew through the... I like to chew through with my rebels as quickly as possible, and getting another reinforcement out there lets me do that. Which is why I choose to bring that ship all of the time, even though it's barely geared. Okay. So just going through and going to get rid of... I'm going to bring in Cassian. And then, because he's going to call the assist, I don't really want to waste it on 5s. Because he's so low health anyway. And you can see that I just took out that Battle Beast ship with all of the assisting. So I think that was the right call. And it lets me get through the fleet a lot quicker. So that's it, guys. We got one and made a mess. All right, guys, this is how it ended. So he obviously didn't come back and attack. He only attacked Darth Revan, which kind of sucks because I'd like to see what would have happened. I mean, he did have 4 GLs for offense, so I'm assuming he would have been okay to get through. He probably just doesn't like 3v3. I don't know. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. And I'm definitely going to review a lot of this footage because it was super dicey. But I think it's just super evident that as confident as I am in some of these counters, I can't ever really call any of them a hard counter unless it's something obvious. Like if you're taking in, you know, a galactic legend that's relicked, full relic team against, you know, gear 11 characters, then that's a totally different story. But just in terms of like hard counter, quote unquote, specifically, I don't think you could really go with one because it just seems so hit and miss on just RNG factors and what happens there. Something can go sideways. Like I was really confident in that Fennec counter to Lord Vader, and then Boss Gloss's taunt, and we were ability blocked, and it was just downhill from there. So that being said, hopefully we can turn this around next week. I would really like to just kind of keep climbing and see what I can learn from 3v3. Probably going to tweak a little bit of my mods, especially with that First Order TIE Pilot Omicron. I definitely want to try that on offense and see what it can do and if it will help me out. That being said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.